It's a Bigfoot kind of morning. I got some stuff over here on the apple open for you. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. I don't know. First and foremost, Ed Calderon and all of his cheerleaders. I'm offering $1,000 to anybody that can get me on a podcast with him, or Joe Rogan, or Shawn Ryan, because he's a fraud. And I'm sick of hearing all this stuff on him like he's some type of resident expert. He's overdosed on Borderland Beat and everything else, and we've been calling him on it for years. Put me on the same podcast as him, and I'll give you $1,000. $1,000. 1000. I will sign a contract with anybody that gets me on a podcast with this guy, because there's some things I want to put him on blast as far as like getting the truth out there. That's the first one. Ed, if you're seeing this, $1,000 your way. Straight up. We bring our documents, we throw it on the table, and see what's up. You're a fraud. I think that you're there's some holes in your story. There's a lot that isn't right, and I'm going to keep saying it until this gets some traction, because it needs to. Too many people have bought into your bullshit, Navy SEALs included. I'm not going to stand for it. Other people can. They can put up with your lies. I'm not going to. Borderland Beat. Borderland Beat is legit. Borderland Beat is legit because it's not one source. There's a lot. Most of Borderland Beat is legit. There are some things in there that are fabricated. There's some stuff that goes there directly from the cartels in Mexico, straight up, because just you wouldn't have access to that type of stuff. So Borderland Beat's legit. I was talking with some people this morning. Reporters have access to, a lot of times when you're on patrol, you'll run into a convoy or something in Mexico. I got the sun up this morning. It's nice and bright. You'll run into stuff on convoy or on patrol, or you'll come across something. Some people take pictures. I've never taken pictures of the dead. It's disrespectful. It's not professional. I don't have any pictures of dead people. Not at all. And I don't care what side they're on. I don't do it. I don't do it at all. I never have done it. I've got 6,000 pictures. I got probably 50 different videos of me training or other garbage. Ed, I want to see your pictures of you training and out on patrol, because that you should have and you don't. You got a couple bullshit pictures here and there. Coupled with the fact that Tijuana is all the way removed from the rest of Mexico. It's only 2 states, and it's on the other side of the Gulf of California. So basically, even in Mexican terms, the Gulf of California is all by itself. They might have more stuff as far as like drugs being imported from mainland China. That I wouldn't doubt. There is a lot of cross-border traffic in Tijuana, but still, nonetheless, it is only 2 states. Baja California del Sur and Baja California. It's not del Norte, just Baja California and Baja California del Sur. So, even being from Tijuana, if that was the case, which it might be, it's not some high-speed rest of Mexico shit. I'm going to be honest with you guys about some stuff. A lot of people have supported Ed. And this video is going to focus on Ed a lot. A lot of people have focused on Ed because they want to know what's going on in Mexico, and even more so now that Trump is calling all these groups cartels. There are other people, and I like to be respectful to people because you get what you give, and I like to be respected, and I want to respect people too. But when people disrespect me online with their comments, and I'm not a butt guy because everything that you say after butt is bullshit. I'm just going to say this. I need to respect people, and I do, as long as they respect me. When people disrespect me online, I'm not gonna tolerate it. I was working there, you weren't. When you go there and you train, you cut thousands and thousands of blades of grass with machetes. That's how it's all cut on base. Okay? There's a lot of things that we go through. People talking out of their ass as far as whether special forces would smash the cartel or not. People opinion on stuff, and that's fine. They can have their opinion, their YouTube channels. Just don't talk like you got any experience with it, because you don't. Unless you do, and if you do, post the stuff that backs up your experience, Ed, or other people, like I have. They're all down in my videos. If you want to know anything about anything I'm saying, they're all down in my videos, okay? Substantiation, all my docs, everything. When you go to work there, you're going to run into some stuff. It's going to happen. There's going to be pictures that you'll take while you're out on patrol. A lot of it's boring. A lot of it is just monotonous jungle or high desert scenery. I mean, a lot of it doesn't mean anything. It's not entertaining. As far as controlling the cartels, here's the part that a lot of people miss. And this is where the people in the comment sections go off on a tangent. It's not something that you can confront. And when you're law enforcement and military in the United States, the probability of you surviving is very high. Okay? When you live in a war zone and when your family and your friends are immediate targets because they're soft targets, and you're confronting something to where they're not going to be arrested, they're only going to have a fight with you. And a lot of times they're not arrested. This has been borne out historically. It's not something that you can face unless you're willing to die. It's just that simple. If you're not willing to die, you have zero business talking about the fucking cartel someone told me I'm a cartel cheerleader. Let me tell you something about being a cartel cheerleader. I put on a uniform in Mexico for years that put a great big target on my back. And I was willing to die when I got into it. And I still am willing to die because I'm not confused about where I'm going. I have the amount of time that my maker is going to give me here on this planet. And that's it. And we carry a bullet in our tack vest in case we get somehow captured. That's it. You're done. Okay? People in the comment sections are in the YouTube comment sections usually because they want to opine on something. They want to interact with the subject, but a lot of times they don't have the fucking balls to show up in another country to go fight what they want to fucking talk about, man. Ed, is that you? I mean, I don't know. Show me some pictures of you out on a fucking mission in a truck. I think I saw a picture of you with 2 municipal cops on motorcycles, on dirt bikes. I don't know. Fucking whatever. Yeah, Ed, I'm talking shit. I'm talking shit to you. And I'll say it to your fucking face in front of Shawn Ryan or Joe Rogan or whatever, you know. And I'll pay you $1,000. I will pay you $1,000 if you show me your pictures on patrol on a podcast with me and your credentials, whether they're police. I'm curious as hell where your military service card is, Ed. How'd you get by that? How do you bounce back and forth between countries like it's a thing to do? 1 minute you're in Tijuana doing Libre fighting, and the next minute you're in the United States in Modesto. You know? Per the Mexican Constitution, everybody that's going to serve in the armed forces in Mexico has to be, tiene que ser Mexicano por nacimiento. That's exactly what it said. Now it includes police these days. But back when I was doing it, was to be a member of the armed forces in Mexico, you have to be a Mexican citizen by birth. That's exactly what it says. So I'm curious how a person that's a Mexican citizen by birth is going to doctor school, fulfilled his military obligation, right? Because you have to fulfill your military obligation to get this thing that's called the Cartilla de Servicio Militar, your military service card. And you have to have a military service card if you're a Mexican to join the police. If you're a born Mexican citizen. My route's a little different, but I can prove my route. I've got all these pictures and stuff like that of me out. It's not, someone told me it's Photoshop. I'm not sure. My videos are like half-assed. I'm not Photoshopping videos, okay? So you can blow that one out your ass. I got a lot of questions for you, Ed, and Ed cheerleaders. Ed cheerleaders. I'm gonna plaster. I've been continually hitting up more and more people. I hit up some more. Sooner or later, someone's going to give me the time of day, and when they do, I'm going to blow you right out of the water. Your whole bullshit boat of lies, Ed. And the rest of the people that think that they know what's up, and they've never, ever, ever taken the time to truly vet something. It sounds like he overdoses on Borderland Beat at night because he's never out on patrol. Right? What else do we got on here? I got a list. Again, getting back to fighting the cartels and stuff like that. You're not a cartel cheerleader if you put on a uniform in Mexico. I don't care who you are. And the cartels, in order to confront them, you have to be willing to die. And let me tell you something. There are things that go on in Mexico when you're questioning people and stuff like that. Regardless of what cartel it is, and when they took out Chapo and created a power vacuum, and then the cartel de Nueva Generación came into play, Los Templarios, all these other cartels, because now there's a power vacuum. There are still differences between the cartels when you catch them, okay? One of the primary differences is the way that they answer questions. They all answer them with the same answers. How much do you get paid? 5,000 a la quincena. Quincena is like a 2-week period. There's a lot of things that you'll come to know. The cartels in Mexico are definitely willing to die, right? Or they wouldn't be in it. And the reason why they're willing to die is they're either so economically impoverished that they have no other answer financially in order to feed themselves or their families. Their families may have been threatened and they might be forced into it. They might be crossing the country. Here's one you probably don't know. The aduana, military immigration and customs. The immigrants crossing Mexico are so afraid to open their mouth because we'll hear their accents that they don't even want to speak. There's reasons for all of these things, but a lot of times the cartels, when they'll catch them, they'll either kill them or they'll force them into service. There are a lot of things that you cheerleaders here in the United States of Ed Calderon don't know and wouldn't know and couldn't know unless you're on patrol in Mexico. So saying that you're a cartel cheerleader, every member of the cartel is down there is willing to die. They definitely have their training stuff. Where it's at, I don't know. I've never seen it. And I'm also going to tell you right now, there's a lot of stuff that's boring. You get up at 4:30 in the morning, you go on a 5-kilometer run every single day, you're going to run. If you're in Mexico, you're going to run. It's not half-ass stuff. You're going to run and you're going to run every day. You're going to run all the time. You're going to run with your gear, which is either going to weigh between 20 to 30, 40 kilos. You can just make that part of your daily habit. Very, very, very disciplined, okay? If you miss work even one day, being an escolta, you can kiss your job goodbye. A lot of times you're going to be at work for for a week to 2 weeks, sometimes even 3 weeks at a time. Stuck out in some post somewhere, mounting a puesto de control, or what they call a control point, a military checkpoint, control checkpoint. There's a lot of things that go on. I'm already into 15 minutes. I don't want to run it super long. In fact, maybe I'll make another video later today. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But this is $1,000 to anybody that gets me and Ed on the same podcast together, because Ed, you're full of shit. And if I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Is Ed Calderon a fraud? Have all of his followers and the people that have had him on his podcast been fooled? I don't know. You tell me. Prove me. I'm from Missouri. Show me. $1,000. Anybody can get me on his podcast.